Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We continue our conversation now with Ocean County Prosecutor Bradley Billhimer. In Trenton right now, they're hammering out the final details for legalized recreational marijuana. There is some talk that they don't have the votes still, so it's a little bit up in the air. Many in law enforcement have come out against the bill. Where do you stand?
Well, that's a great question, Larry. Thanks for asking it. I'm not a politician. That's how I usually start that, right? My job is in law enforcement, so my job will be to uphold whatever the law is. As a father, I do have some concerns. I don't know if I'm ready for recreational marijuana to be legal in New Jersey. I don't know that it's going to help with the problems that we're having as kids are going through high school and going into college. I can tell you that we have some serious concerns about the way the bill is written. With respect to driving under the influence, I think there's some flaws in the bill. We don't have a quantitative test for operating a motor vehicle under the influence of marijuana. We have a qualitative test, which just basically says marijuana is in your system, but we can't tell how much. We can't tell when you smoked it, ate it, or inhaled it. So that's a problem, I think, moving forward. I hope it's something that they address before and if it becomes legal.
There's two parts of it, right? And
right.
So it seems like there is the health aspects and the worry about car accidents, and the other is social justice.
Right.
You hear that a lot, that there's a lot of people that have been incarcerated for either having a small amount of marijuana or for dealing a small amount of marijuana. And there's been talk about expungement of records, about releasing people from jail. Do you have concerns about that?
I do have some valid concerns. Part of the problem is if you had to expunge every marijuana conviction that's on the records right now, that's in the books, the state police is estimating it would take over 20 years to accomplish that goal. So that's
Why?
a problem moving forward. Logistically, time and manpower, I mean, it's not something that happens automatically. You have to actually appear before a judge to have an expungement. It's an order signed by a judge, so there's probably thousands and thousands of marijuana convictions.
So, it's funny because when I've talked to several people about this bill, and we've been talking about it now, it seems like for the last year, and when they talked about expungement, nobody's brought that up, but you have not heard of that being dealt with anywhere where they can expedite the process?
I don't know how it would be expedited if you're going to take it away from the court system and make it just a matter of paperwork. There's no way to expedite it without going before a judge to have an order signed.
You have another initiative that's going forward that deals with children and children that have gone through trauma. Explain.
We do. We're partnering in Ocean County. We're going to partner with the Drug Enforcement Administration in an initiative that they put forward in the Newark schools. And basically what it is it's dealing with children. It's called NJCare, and it's dealing with children that may have experienced adverse experiences as a child. So there's an overdose at a home, a domestic violence incident, an arrest, and the police have to respond, and they see a child there. The idea is that they take the name and the school of the child down on a standardized form and just send it to the school for the next day so that school counselors, teachers, and administrators will know that that child has had an adverse experience and maybe will be treated with some guidance, some care, or some special attention. We found the data shows that children that go through those experiences are more likely to experience depression, substance abuse, alienation. So we're finding if we can tackle that problem earlier, maybe we'll have better success in the long run.
It goes back to early intervention, just like the opioid problem we were talking about a moment ago. I want to talk about one last thing because it is a nagging problem that I talk to many prosecutors about, and that are the scams. It is amazing that people fall for them, but I guess the elderly are susceptible, and now a new study has come out that said millennials are susceptible to these scams. There's a new one going around that apparently comes from the New Jersey Department of Corrections. It doesn't.
It doesn't, right, exactly.
But they claim with the New Jersey Department of Corrections, and it's been a problem in Ocean County.
It's been a problem in Ocean County. There's a local phone number that appears, and they call you and say there's criminal activity coming from your computer, and you have to call this number and pay a fine over the phone, which you should never do. You should never give out any of that information over the phone. My high-tech crimes unit has been looking into it. We've tracked those numbers back to an offshore account in another country, and these are computer programs that automatically transpose numbers and make the calls. So we've referred a lot of that information to the Homeland Security Department, and they're looking into it now. But it is a scam, and you should never return those calls.
Right. There's so many of these things that allegedly come from state agencies, but they ask for money, and none of them are.
State agencies don't call and ask for money over the phone. That's what people should be made aware of.
And neither does the IRS, by the way. And
or the prosecutor's office.
Or the prosecutor's office. Thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you, Larry.
It was great to meet you.
You.
Thanks for coming in. Bradley Billhimer, prosecutor of Ocean County.
Thank you.
Jersey Matters continues right after this. Still to come on Jersey Matters, reaction to this week's budget address by Governor Phil Murphy. That's next.